Hello everybody, this is Dr. M. Meenalochini, Assistant Professor in the Department of EEE, King's College of Engineering. The topic of my presentation is Introduction to PIC Microcontrollers. So before going into PIC, let us see about basic microcontrollers. So the microcontroller consists of all the components of a general computer which are integrated into a single chip. So these components perform all the functions to control a big system. So important considerations of these microcontrollers include size, capacity, cost, as well as power consumption. Thus, the chip includes memory as well as the ports necessary for integrating with external input-output devices in addition to the CPU core. So what is a PIC? It's a family of Harvard architecture microcontrollers which was manufactured by Microchip. So it was originally designed around 1980 as a small, fast and inexpensive embedded microcontroller which is having strong input-output capabilities. So the expansion of PIC is peripheral interface controller. So why this PIC is popular? Because of its low cost, wide availability and high clock speed. And also it consists of low cost or free development tools. So only 37 instructions, serial programming as well as reprogramming with flash memory is available, and its code is extremely efficient and therefore it runs with less program memory, and it is also very small and it is easy to implement for non-complex problems also. So it usually accompanies to the microprocessor as an interface so that it can be connected to several microprocessors or controllers. So these are some of the features which make PIC so popular. Basically, two different architectures are there. One is Harvard architecture and the other one is von Neumann architecture. So in Harvard architecture, uh, in CPU, we'll be having two different memories interconnected. One is the data memory and the other one is program memory. And there are two buses. One for program memory and the other for data memory. Whereas in von Neumann architecture, this is the older versions and all, will be using this one. Both program as well as data memory, it exists as a single memory, okay, and it consists of a single bus. So this is the difference between Harvard and von Neumann architecture. So this Harvard architecture is used mainly in RISC CPUs, where RISC stands for reduced instruction set computers, and therefore separate program bus and data bus are used for Harvard architecture. So some of the examples, so in PIC, Harvard architecture is followed. So data memory is separate as well as program memory is also there. So usually this data memory is known as RAM, and the program memory for storing the code is known as ROM. So RAM consists of 8-bit registers, and in ROM 12-bit, 14-bit or 16-bit, depending upon the versions of PIC, variety of ROM is available. In von Neumann architecture, the process CISC processor are mainly using this type of architecture. CISC stands for Complex Instruction Set Computer. So one example is 80x86. Here only one bus is there between CPU and memory. So this RAM as well as ROM, that is program and data memory, share the same bus as well as the same memory. Okay. So the main disadvantage is here, getting instructions interferes with accessing RAM. Both resides in the same memory, and therefore getting instructions as well as getting data, they will combine with each other. So RISC versus CISC. Reduced instruction set computer is RISC. It is mainly used in Spark, Alpha, Atmel, AVR, etc. Here the instructions are usually less than 50. Okay, and to support these instructions, there are few addressing modes, and each instruction is executed in one internal clock cycle, usually known as T cycle. Okay, whereas in complex instruction set computer, which is used in 80X, 86, 8051, Motorola 68HC11, etc., and the instructions are usually greater than 100. And therefore, to support these instructions, several addressing modes are used. And it usually takes more than one clock cycle to execute. Okay. So these are some of the versions of PIC. So PICs come with one of four CPU cores, 12-bit cores, which consists of 33 instructions, and the examples are 12C50X, PIC 12C50X, PIC 16C5X. 14-bit cores with 35 instructions, and the versions are 12C67 and 16CXX series. 16-bit cores with 58 instructions, and 17C4X and 17C7XX comes with these capabilities. Finally, enhanced 16-bit cores with 77 instructions and PIC 18CXX series support this architecture. And the family packages, 8-pin dual inline package, SOICs, the examples are 12C50 and 12C67. In the same manner, there are 18-pin DIPs, 28-pin DIPs, 40-pin, and finally 44 to 68-pin PLCs. So these are the different versions of PIC microcontroller. So the PIC speed, it can also use crystals or clock oscillators, or there can be an RC circuit for generating the required frequency. So some PICs also have a built-in 4 MHz RC clock. Okay, here it does not require any external components. Even though it is not accurate, it can provide a near 4 MHz RC clock. Okay, all the PICs can be run from DC to their maximum specified speed, which is given below. So for 12C50X, it is up to 4 MHz, 12C67 10 MHz, 16C supports 20 MHz, 17C4 and 17C7 supports 33 MHz, and finally 18CXX series supports 40 MHz speed. So instruction clock. The clock from the oscillator, that is either an RC circuit or an oscillator. So the clock frequency, it enters through the oscillator 1 pin. Okay, and it divides into 4 clocks, Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4, and these clocks won't overlap with each other. And these 4 clocks, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, they make up one instruction cycle. You can see here Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay, this is one instruction cycle. Once again, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, second instruction cycle, like that. An instruction cycle, which can also be called as a machine cycle. So it comprises 4 clocks, Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. So for every Q1, instruction is called from program memory. As we know that program stores in program memory, the instruction is called during every Q1 and is written in the register during the last one, that is Q4. Okay, decoding and execution of the instruction are done between these Q1 and Q4. Okay, program counter, it usually holds the address of the next instruction which is to be executed. Okay, so each and every instruction is executed within this T cycle 1 or T cycle 2 or T cycle 3. So pipelining in PIC. So pipelining, it increases the speed of any microprocessor or controller. So this is an example showing 5 instructions. So T cycle 0, fetch 1 is carried out. That is, instruction 1 is fetched there. In the second clock cycle, instruction 1 is executed, whereas at the same time instruction 2 is fetched. Okay. In the third clock cycle, instruction 1 is instruction 2 is executed and instruction 3 is fetched there. In the same manner, the execution continues for all the instructions. That is, parallelly, fetch and execute of instructions are carried out at the same time. Okay. So program memory in PIC. So the technology used is either EEPROM or flash or ROM. So it also varies in size from one chip to another. So 12C508 only 512 bytes and 12-bit instructions. 16C71024 bytes and 14-bit instructions are supported in 16F877 8K, and the number of instructions supported is 14-bit. Similarly, in 17C766 16K, and the number of instructions supported is 16-bit instructions. So in the data memory, it uses general purpose file registers, and each register is of size 8-bit. It also varies for different versions of PIC. 12C508 25-bit byte RAM, 16C 36 byte, 16F 368 byte plus 256 byte of non-volatile EEPROM is provided. In 17C 766902 bytes of internal RAM is there. So programming procedure of PIC, the essential steps are on a PC, type the program, compile it, and then use the hex file. So this hex file is uploaded into the PIC using a programmer, and this process is known as burning. Okay. After burning the program, the PIC is inserted into the circuit and the power is switched on, and the program is checked whether it is working or not. So this is known as dropping. So if it is not working properly, we have to go to step 1, debug the program, and then repeat the burning as well as dropping. This is usually the procedure for programming PIC. So PIC family control registers, it uses a series of special function registers. Okay, first one is status register. Here it consists of bank select bits for selecting the register banks. Arithmetic and logic unit bits, that is flags are there, 0, borrow and carry. Intcon, so this is the register used for interrupt control. So it enables the interrupts, flags, etc. So option register, so this consists of various control bits for configuring the timer 0, prescaler, watchdog timer, postscaler, external interrupt, INT, and timer 0. So PIC peripherals. So peripherals also consists of a set of special function register for controlling its operation. So different PICs have different varieties of onboard peripherals. So the features of the peripherals: 5 digital input output ports are there. 3 timer or counter modules are there. Timer 0, it's a 8-bit timer or counter, and it is having 8-bit prescaler. Timer 1, a 16-bit timer or counter with a prescaler and can be incremented during sleep. Timer 2, 8-bit timer or counter with 8-bit period register, prescaler, postscaler. So 10-bit A to D converter with 8 inputs, 2 capture, compare and pulse width modulation modules. Capture is a 16-bit, maximum resolution of the capture is 12.5 nanoseconds. Compare is 16-bit maximum, its resolution is 200 nanoseconds. PWM maximum resolution is 10-bit. So there is also a synchronous serial port SSP with SPI master mode and I2C, which can function as master and slave. And universal synchronous asynchronous receiver transmitter ZART with 9-bit address detection. A parallel slave port PSP is also there, which is 8 bits wide, consisting of external read, write and control signals. So analog to digital converter, A to D module has 4 registers. A to D result: high register, low register, control register 0 and control register 1, consisting of multiplexed 8 channel inputs. Okay, it must wait for a period of T ACT to charge up the sampling capacitor. So it can also take a reference voltage which is different from that of the controllers. ZART, so it is mainly used for synchronous as well as asynchronous reception as well as transmission. So there is an interrupt on transmitter buffer empty and receiver buffer full. So the asynchronous communication, it can do up to 300 bits per second to 115 kilobits per second. 8 or 9 bits can be used, which include parity, start bit, stop bit, etc. Timer, it is available in all PICs. It can generate interrupts whenever there is an overflow in the timer. Some timers are 8-bit, some are 16-bit timers, some have pre-scalers and post-scalers, and some won't be having these type of scalers. It can use external pin also as a clock in or clock out. So PIC program memory is different for different chip. Some examples: 12C508, 512 bytes and 12-bit instructions, 16C71C 1K byte and 14-bit instructions, 16F877 14-bit instructions and 8K byte, 17C766 16-bit instructions and 16K bytes support. So some miscellaneous peripherals, sleep mode. So it can operate in sleep mode, that is it shuts it down until external interrupt or it wakes up. Can be set by an internal timer for sleeping up to a fixed number of milliseconds, and it can wake up. Also, it can be programmed using an external interrupt. Whenever an external interrupt comes, it can sleep up to that time. Interrupt on pin change. It can also generate an interrupt whenever there is a change in the digital input pin. Okay, it can be either a key press or an interrupt. Okay, watchdog timer. So it resets the chip. Okay, if there is an overflow. Brownout detect. It resets the chip whenever the voltage level drops below a specified voltage. LCD drivers are there which are used for driving simple LCD displays. And also virtual peripherals are supported, which means that the peripherals can be programmed using software. Okay, UARTs, timers and other peripherals can also be done through software. So thank you.